What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Thursday morning episode of the Daily Juice Podcast. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me across all of my socials at Sports Talk Matt. And, well, I kind of called it. I said we're going to lose last night. We did. Basketball with a thud. We got baseball right. That was good. Day started out 1-0. And then both basketball bets, bad. Bulls destroyed. Kings got housed. Did well in the 7-8 games. In the 9-10 games, not so much. Both teams that had lost all three games. Bulls were 3-0. Kings were 3-0. They both lost badly in their games to Miami and to the Dallas Mavericks. Padres did win, though, so it's a 1-2 day, down 1.2 units. Not that big of a deal. Still a very good week going. Let's bounce back here on a Thursday. Now, here's kind of a cool thing. So on my other show, the Bostonian versus the Book, D-Bro, Derek Brown, Fantasy Pros, Betting Pros, NFL Draft, NFL Expert, was on the show. I'm going to steal two of his bets for the NFL Draft. It's kind of a dead day. NHL, last day of the regular season, not touching that. There's no NBA playoffs. That's till tomorrow, so Friday for that. It's on Major League Baseball. So I'm going to give you a couple of NFL draft props to add on to our current one, our Jackson Dart, which, by the way, DraftKings has moved that number to 24.5. So I still wanted 21 because that's where the Steelers are. But if you haven't bet that yet, 24.5 is available at DraftKings right now for Jackson Dart under. It's more juicy than when I played, but you can play it. And that's a pretty good number, 24.5 for Jackson's Dart. So if you like Jackson Dart, if you like that play, you get 24.5, get a couple of spots extra back on that. If you haven't made that play yet, I would do that. We gave 21.5 out. That's where the Steelers pick at 21. So I'm still cool with the bet. But if you haven't made it yet, 24.5. There. Got two more there. 3 Major League Baseball plays, 1 total, and 2 pitcher props. I have not done well with the BettingPros prop bet cheat sheet. And the reason is we don't have enough data. Like, the thing that makes the prop bet cheat sheet so good and why we did so well with the NBA is that we basically started doing it at the All-Star break, right? We had a huge vat of data for the prop bet cheat sheet to roll through, and that's why we did so well. Well, we haven't done well with the MLB prop bet cheat sheet yet because we haven't played enough games. I mean, most teams have played less than 20 games or 20 games. So, we need to play more baseball, and then we get the prop bet cheat sheet. The algorithm can work itself out. So these are mine. No prop bet cheat sheet. I've got 2 plays for us here for Major League Baseball player props that I want to give out from my own handicapping that we'll see how I do in Major League Baseball player props. So I told you we'd be more involved with that this baseball season. So we haven't done a couple in a while, so we're going to do that coming up here. But before we give you the plays, let's talk about the BettingPros app. Have you gone and downloaded the BettingPros app? There is a 7-day free trial available when you download the BettingPros app and use the code JUICE. Download the app, code JUICE, 7-day free trial of BettingPros Premium, where you can go and play with the prop bet cheat sheet for MLB by yourself, or even the NBA. Be watching for an NBA contest, player prop contest coming up. So I am not going to bet heavily with the prop bet cheat sheet for the NBA playoffs, but I will get involved. I'm not totally going to ignore it. I'm not going to say, we're done, okay? But it is a much different sport, okay? It is a much different. You get maximum effort. I'm more inclined to bet superstars. In the regular season, I'm always concerned, and I'm always sort of apprehensive about betting on stars. LeBron James, for instance, okay? But in the playoffs, kind of a different story because we're going to get maximum effort for 4 quarters, and we're going to get the whole team who's going to be up for every single game, in particular in closeout games. So I'm not saying I won't bet NBA player props, but for the play-in tournament, I was not betting NBA player props. No, thank you. But maybe in select spots, we'll jump in with that. So it could be a fun NBA. There will be a fun NBA playoff player prop contest coming up. More details on that coming up in a little bit, but juice for a 7-day free trial of BettingPros Premium. Check it out for the NBA prop bet cheat sheet and the Major League Baseball prop bet cheat sheet. Okay, I am straight ripping this play off. This is not mine, okay? This is straight from D-Bro. And I had a ball talking to him on my other show. Let's talk about the Washington Commanders. So the Commanders, as D-Bro pointed out, have added Laremy Tunsil to add to their offensive line to protect their star quarterback. They added Deebo Samuel, great wide receiver, to this offense to go on the other side of Terry McLaurin. So they've added offense, help for Jalen Daniels. And so the offense feels pretty good. Now Dan Quinn has to go to defense. And according to Debro, and I would agree, their safety spot is really needed. And Washington at number 29, they are in prime position to draft one of the great safeties that will be on the board still late in the first round. A quarterback, if you will, that Dan Quinn needs. He's got Daniels as their quarterback of the offense. He needs a defensive version of that. And according to other props, not just Debro, but like the 33rdteam.com's latest mock draft has Malachi Starks, the safety for Georgia, going there, which is the same player that Debro identified as a very good fit for the Washington Commanders at number 29. In the first round, if Washington takes at number 29 a safety, any safety, and there's a couple they could take, that is a 9-1, a plus 900 bet. I love it. I don't just like it. I love it. The logic is right there. It makes perfect sense. Let's chuck a half a unit on it. It's worth the flyer on the Washington Commanders at number 29 to take a safety with their first pick. Now, by the way, Washington could trade out of the pick and still take a safety, and the bet can still cash. The bet is what position for the first player drafted for the Washington Commanders. So it doesn't have to be at 29. They could trade up to 28, take a safety. They could trade down to 32, take a safety. As long as they take a safety with their first pick, this bet cashes. Plus 900, Washington Commanders to draft a safety in next week's NFL draft. Now, second bet. This is going to be interesting. What to do with Jalen Milroe. Debro threw a curveball at us yesterday. And he said he's hearing some scuttlebutt on the Bama quarterback going as high as 12th. He has a third-round grade on Jalen Milroe, which I think is right. I'm not predicting this to happen, but then I started looking around, and I was stunned to see that Milroe in the first round is a plus 130 shot. That means the books really think this is likely, that somebody trades back into the later part of the first round and take Jalen Milroe. You could also bet over 3 quarterbacks taken in the first round. You could bet that as well. Pretty much everyone says there's going to be 3. Jackson Dart being the third, Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward's going number 1, like we know. Sanders probably going 3 to the Giants or 9 to the Saints. And the Steelers probably taking Jackson Dart unless somebody trades up into the top 15 to go get him, which is very possible. Those are your 3 first-round pick quarterbacks, right? Well, I don't think it's a horrible use of a half a unit to take the other half a unit from the idea of the Commanders taking a safety. And if that hits, who cares what happens with this play? But Jalen Milroe to be a first-round pick is only plus 130. Something's amiss there. Something's up. It's the extra year, right? You have the extra year. It's the Lamar Jackson draft because Milroe is being compared to Lamar Jackson. And no one thought that Lamar Jackson could really become what he is today, which is a 2-time MVP winner. So what happened? The Ravens went up and got him to get the extra year, to get the 5th year. Same thing may happen with Jalen Milroe. Somebody trades back in at 31, 32. They draft Jalen Milroe. 4 quarterbacks go, and we cash this as well. Plus 130 on the Bama quarterback, Jalen Milroe, to be a first-round pick for a half a unit. All right? So 2 more NFL draft props. The Commanders to take a safety with their first pick at plus 900, and Jalen Milroe to be a first-round pick at plus 130. Baseball we go for today. Those are next week's plays. But how about tonight, today? Chicago weather. Light mist and rain, 56 or so degrees, low of 40. Disgusting for the A's at the Chicago White Sox. Davis Martin goes to the mound, where Davis Martin on the road has not been good. 5 innings, 7 earned runs given up to Detroit in his only start on the road. But at home, against the Angels, 3-2 loss. He gave up 0 earned runs. And against the Red Sox in his last start, he went 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run. The Red Sox couldn't stop anybody that game. They gave up 11 runs in that game and lost the game 11-1. But that was the bullpen getting tattooed mostly for Boston. But for this bet, it doesn't matter. We only care about what Davis Martin will do. Davis Martin has been very good at home. J.P. Sears is going on the other side for the A's, and J.P. Sears is okay. On the road this year, he's given up 2 earned runs to Seattle and 3 earned runs to Colorado. He gave up 3 earned runs to the Mets in a 7-6 loss to the Mets in his last time out. He went 4 innings. But again, the weather being so crappy. The A's scored 12 runs in the first matchup and won the game 12-3. Then they won 3-1 yesterday. This is now the third and final game of this series, and I'm going to bet the under. It's an early start. It's a 1:10 Central Time start. There's going to be nobody there. It's going to be just a dead atmosphere in Chicago. The weather's going to be cold and misty and wet and nasty. Under 8. A's and the White Sox. Under 8 for 1.1 units. Now, let's go to some pitching props. Andre Palente for the St. Louis Cardinals. So this guy has struck out 3, 6, and 4 so far in his 2025 Major League Baseball season. So Palente is going up against a team in the Mets who right now at home have struck out the fewest number of times of any team at home in Major League Baseball. 5.83 Ks per game at home for the New York Mets. Now, overall, they're 7.72 Ks per game. But at home, they're number 1. Arizona's number 2. San Diego's number 3. Sacramento A's, whatever you want to call them, number 4. So they don't strike out all that much. And the pitcher that's throwing, Palente, is not really a strikeout pitcher. 3, 6, and 4 Ks so far in his 3 starts. 4.5 Ks. That's the number for the Mets here with Andre Palente starting. We're going to go under for Andre Palente here up against the Mets and the Cardinals. This is going to be an interesting matchup here. It is a 4:10 Pacific time start. Nighttime in the Bronx, and the Cardinals are 1-5 on the road. So if he gets tattooed and the Mets come out swinging, they're 5-1 at home. If they drive him out of the game after 3-4 innings, we're good. Not going to get 5 Ks or more out of this guy. We're going to play the under. It's -135 for Palente, under 4.5 Ks up against the Mets, who are the number 1 team at home, least strikeout team so far. For 0.67 units, we'll throw to win a half a unit coming back for Palente. On the other side, the Giants are playing the Phillies in the final game of their 4-game series here today, and Christopher Sanchez is going to the mound for the Phillies up against the Giants. The Giants on the road strike out a ton. The Giants on the road, 10.5 Ks per game on the road this season. Now that is the third worst in Major League Baseball. Colorado is number 1. Miami's number 2. The Giants are number 3 for strikeouts. Overall, the Giants 9.56 Ks per game so far this year is 5th worst in Major League Baseball. The Rockies are still the worst. Then Atlanta, Boston, Detroit, and at 9.56, the San Francisco Giants. Christopher Sanchez at home this year, 7 Ks against Colorado in his first start, against the Dodgers, 9 Ks in his second start, and then he went on the road against St. Louis and only had 3 Ks. But now he's back at home, where last year he was a dramatically different pitcher at home. again at home. A dramatically different picture here. We're going over 5.5 strikeouts for Christopher Sanchez up against the Giants here today. That's a minus 130 play. We're putting 0.6 down on that to win a half a unit coming back on that. All right. So for our card today here for the Daily Juice, the Commanders to draft a safety at 9-1 for a half a unit. Jalen Milroe to be a first-round pick in the NFL draft at plus 130 for a half a unit. A's and the White Sox under 8 at minus 110. Palente under 4.5 Ks. Sanchez over 5.5 Ks for us here on a Thursday. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me across all of my socials at Sports Talk Matt every single morning, wherever you guys get your podcasts. It is the Daily Juice.